expectations? Hope they have not been crushed. All right, thank you. So I think a photographer, you have to introduce yourself as well. You're part of the conversation.
Okay, my name is Odiemi.
Okay, you're welcome. Do you have any expectations for today? Yes.
Alright, I came to this program to get myself into social life that I've not been having the opportunity
Okay. You're welcome. I hope your dreams come true. Okay. Your next.
My name is Lami. I am a writer. I teach yoga. I love to have conscious conversations.
You're welcome. Do you have any expectations for
I'm
today?
just open-minded.
Just to.
I'm open-minded.
All right.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Okay.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
My name is Osi. I'm basically now artist for the world.
All
I'm
right.
here to dissect this topic today in our own host.
Yeah. Okay. So my name is God's Delight Agu, fondly called Buki, and a creative writer, I'm a storyteller, and I'm a mental health advocate and educator. So, so now we know ourselves. Cool. So let's look at what we have on our hands. And we decided to switch it up this month instead of throwing questions. We just want everyone to have like one question. So, Gosio, do you have an answer to your question? Oh, my horrible handwriting. Oh Lord, help me. What does healing? Oh yes, I love my handwriting. Yeah, what does healing look like?
Okay, I think for me, healing is about letting go of some things that, and some of the early experiences you have had that have in some way impacted you negatively. And it's likely to make you see life from that direction because you are negatively affected. So there's certain tendency of getting to see life from that space, from that angle. So what healing is understanding that that is not how life goes. Probably just like about the spirit. So you can easily let that go and not allow that to define your life, to be the reason why you do things the way you do them. Healing for me is about seeing life away from the experience you have had. So
That's what healing means to you. All right. Now I'm tempted to ask a follow-up question. Okay, but let's just go on. A photographer, Mr. Yemi, what's your question?
based on this, right?
Mm.
So how do you usually cope when life feels heavy? Do these methods actually help?
Okay.
I'm sorry if I'm too religious, because you have been listening to so many sermons about if life feels hard. And I believe that there is no one on this earth that doesn't have any challenge. It can only become a goal. Then after that, it makes you stronger. So
So understanding those kind of things will prepare, has always prepared my mind that things will not always go on well. There will surely be challenges. So when the challenges comes, I think with the little level of understanding I have, I can embrace it. Then I'll not allow it to weigh me down in such a way that even those people that are looking up to me will be like, what is wrong with this our mentor or something like that. I will not even allow it to weigh me down, but I'll just keep praying. So that is.
So prayer is how you
Yes.
tackle your challenges. All right, that's awesome. Okay, so a lady.
Okay, what have you noticed about the way men around you deal with stress or emotions? So I would say that um, men like to say they're not emotional, like to say they're logical, but there's a lot of emotions that comes with being logical. And being emotional, so they do not regard anger as an emotion,
Mm,
so to say. Um, you can be very angry about so many things. And so, how do they deal with stress? I find out that maybe they go hang out with boys, maybe have drinks, or go to um, some go to the gym, some find themselves womanizing. So I think different men, they deal with stress and emotions
different ways.
differently.
Yeah, that's very true. Thank you. So my question: what can women do better when it comes to supporting the men in their lives mentally and emotionally? What can women do better? I think for me as a woman and someone who is conscious enough to know that for me to be for me that I'm aware that humans can be traumatized. That's the first thing. Like I'm fully aware of that. So as a woman, I try to be very careful in my interactions with people, not just men alone, but people in general. So I don't know about other women, but sometimes we um, feel like men are, you know, just these objects that don't really have any feelings. They can't feel, so just expect them to have everything all figured out. Just make money, go out and hustle, and those expectations. I'm not the kind of woman that really has um, that likes to put so much expectations on, like, because you are a man you are supposed to do XYZ. Like that's how I try to that's what I do in my own personal life, in supporting the men in my life. I have brothers, I have cousins, I've had boyfriends. Yes, so I try not to just say, "Oh, you're a man, so because of that, this is what you should do," simply because you are a man. So that's a way I try to navigate that relationship. So I oh my god, who has that phone? It's mine. Oh, this terrible. The person is calling on WhatsApp. Even after I removed the SIM card, go on WhatsApp. These people just keep calling. Even after I removed my number from the flyer, they keep calling me.
They are trying to make their way there.
Hmm? I think so. Can I check?
Thank you. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here today. It's a very lovely sight. Seeing everyone. It's awesome. So, this topic we are having today very serious, quite serious. Um, but at the same time, it's not as serious as we deem it to be. In my opinion, as much as it is serious, it is not still as serious as we deem it to be. Why I said so is because, first of all, let me touch that notion of the serious part of it. Yearly, we are able to learn that over 40,000 men die as a result of mental health issues. And you see, for this happening, it tells a lot about the kind of society that we find ourselves, that we live in. It's so, so sad. Because me, myself, I look around me, I see men, friends, family, and even people that I am into things with and the way they deal with life, especially the mental part of life. And I tell you, I even get more sadder because I'll be like, if we are seeing the world from this perspective, how are we supposed to actually take our role in the society as men fully when we are not even awful in our own state of being? This gets me sad. So that's why I'm even happy we are talking about something like this today. And there is a space for things like this to be spoken about all over the world. Then now coming to the other side of it, where I said it is not as serious as we take it, is that most times we have created this kind of like construct around mental health conversations that because of this construct, we don't even talk about it at all. We feel like it is something so uneasy to speak on. It's something that is not worthy of our attention, you know. So, or sometimes we feel like it's something that is so grave that if we put our attention into it, we might not be able to see through it. Some people are even afraid of therapy because they don't know what they might face, they don't know what they might find, which is like a demon that is in their own psyche. So, now coming to the questions that has been thrown to the people today and the way we have been able to answer those questions, I'm going to chip into some things just in a very short manner. Then we can get to the main um, topic of today. I mean, the main part of the conversation today. So, the first person that answered the question spoke about his idea of healing. And when we are talking about healing, really, I think we don't really talk about this from the depth of it, which is healing comes differently for everyone. Some people doesn't understand the idea of healing in a deeper sense of their own self. They just understand the idea of healing the way society explains it to be. And we all heal differently because even healing is a continuous process. It never really ends. Now, why I said this is because in the society, you might be told that to heal is to be able to see yourself in a certain light. Probably they talk about the topic of self-love and the way that you are able to embrace yourself. Then since you have been able to embrace yourself in a particular state of being, then that means you are healed. But that doesn't still conclude the fact that you have actually healed from all the traumas that you think you have healed from. Because there are some traumas that are very deep-seated that we don't even know that we embody them in our own psyche at all. Now, I, for one, believe that we never really heal unless we shift to a more uncomfortable part of ourselves and look into those parts. According to a deeper level of psychology, we call it the shadow parts. Everybody has it. So if we don't look into those shadow parts of ourselves and treat those things that comes up from our own psyche, from our own mind, and find a way to dissolve those things that comes up as uncomfortable things in our own mind, I don't really think healing can ever come. So that's just to what he has said. And I'm going to encapsulate everything together also, but it's just to treat that. Then to the person we asked about how he deals with his challenges, and he said he goes through the spiritual way. It's nice. In fact, it is very beautiful when we tend to shift to something more greater than us in the moments of distress. But at the same time, even spirituality, which is part of the areas which I am into, encourages us that we should strive to attain a certain level of balance in life. Because if you are saying, if I'm going through this, I just have to pray about it, then everything is good. Or if I'm going through this, I have to meditate. Then once I meditate, I am good. Or if I'm going through this, I have to just ground myself. I have to do some rituals work and everything is fine. But I don't really think this is the totality of it. Most times we need to express our emotions, especially as men. It is very sad, like I said earlier, to see men not being able to handle their emotions totally and the way they are supposed to. Me myself, I'm guilty of this sometimes because we all have the way we were brought up when we were young. Most of us have been taught that expressing your emotions is wrong. You have been told that if you express your emotions, you are weak. You have been told that, in fact, expressing your emotions sometimes might deem you as a woman, meaning you are not man enough. So you might take this measure, which is the measure of moving it into spirituality and prayer and religion, and just shift it there. That, oh, I don't have to deal with the emotions. Let me just pray about it. Everything will be fine. Of course, prayer is going to do something, but you still have to do something yourself. You still have to work on it yourself. Because if you don't help yourself, even the Bible said the Lord is not going to help you. So that's just a little part to that aspect of what he said. Now, let's move to what Lami said the other time, which is how she has been able to see how men relate to their emotions. The other time she said some of them go into different kind of escapes, both healthy and unhealthy ones, just to shy away from their emotions. Yes, this is true. And even me myself, I can say that I'm guilty of this. The reason why I'm speaking about this topic is because most of it pertains to me myself too. We go around, keeping our chin up and putting up a sort of like facade for the society to see us like we are fine. Like she said, you go to the gym. It's an healthy way of escape, of course. But me as a gym goer, I've seen people in the gym or at the gym that are messed up mentally. I've seen people that are messed up emotionally. I've heard people talk and I'm like, what happened to you? How were you raised to be able to see the world from this kind of perspective? And there are days also, I just go there to lash out on the dumbbells, you know, because I have no one at some certain point to understand what I might be feeling as at that particular moment. So I go there to just then shifting to the unhealthy ways that we escape. A lot of men shift into drinking, smoking, using of substances just to shy away from the work that is meant to be done. But then, if we take escapes all the time, who is going to do the work? I think we need to always ask ourselves these questions. Nobody is going to do it unless we look into ourselves to fight the demons that we are meant to fight. So, and that's to what Lami said. Then going to what our humble host Delight said. She spoke about how she always tried to give space and allowance for men to feel their emotions because she doesn't know what it feels like to be in their shoe. Of course, this is a very, very healthy way to assess or to address this particular situation as a woman. But most times, allowance and space is beautiful for a man to express. But what about deep level of presence, because men do need presence too sometimes. I understand that most times men want to like just lash out and leave everything, allow you to just be, then face their emotions, or probably hide somewhere to cry because you don't want to cry in front of your family. But what about moments whereby you lay your head on the woman's lap and you cry? But the issue, yeah, I give you that. The issue is how many women are willing to do that today without deeming the man as weak. A lot of women even grew up in this kind of society or in a home whereby they didn't even see their own dad cry for once. That doesn't mean that your dad doesn't cry, but he found a way to like just keep it from you. And that happening, you should actually question what's happening in that particular scene. If it is your dad hiding, or it is because he couldn't find solace in your mom. Because this way, actually the way that we grow tells a lot about how we view the world. And especially it's kind of our generation whereby a lot of people are growing up in homes whereby the two parents are not actually really there. Probably just one or two, or you don't even live with your parents at all. You live somewhere to just me myself. I didn't even live with my own parents most of my adolescent and teenage years. So that's why I'm saying allowance and space is beautiful, but sometimes there needs to be like a sort of emotional assurance and reassurance that I'm here for you. But I'm saying it again, many women are willing to do this. I want to point to question to the women here. Have you ever been in a position whereby you gave a space for a man to express himself emotionally to the point that you yourself know that okay, he has actually expressed himself, even to the point of him probably breaking or crying? Have you ever been in that kind of situation before? I haven't heard anything. Why are you pointing the camera to? It is cool also. It is calm if you haven't been in that situation before. Because it might not even be your own fault. It might be the man's fault. Because he doesn't even understand what vulnerability means. So you don't really need to deem it as your own fault that the man couldn't express himself. But you women here said you have been in that kind of position before. But how many women out there can actually assert the fact that yes, they have actually given a space for a man to express himself emotionally before? You know, one of my um aim today coming here was that I want to create a space where men can cry. Bro, it sounds funny. When last did you cry?
It's not as if free cry, but I remember the day I lost money in forest.
Yeah, that's why by logic you are meant to cry because you are human. But the question now is that which day did you cry that you felt like I need to actually cry? And we have actually had that kind of situation before that you just sit there and be like, man, I think I need to cry. I do allow myself to have such moments because if I don't allow myself, who is going to? Then if I just allow the emotions to store in my body and I start expressing it to other people, is that the way to go? I start I start enacting it in the way that I live and the things that I do. Because you see, let me let me explain a biological part to crying. Crying is actually you allowing chemicals to leave your body. It is a way for you to dispense the chemicals because you are shedding tears. Those tears are being formed from somewhere. There's a part of your brain that is relieving itself from you crying. That's why you see that women, a lot of women, once they have cried about something like this, they feel better. Any small thing like this, they just want to cry first. I've seen a lot of women say, let me cry about it. After I cry, I'm good. So you see, it is because they understand. They understand. There are a lot of things that, bro, just go and cry first. Cry first. You are human. And after that, go and face it. You have a clearer mind to face it. Because we don't understand that we might deem crying an expression of emotions as something womanly, feminine, something that is not manly enough. But we don't understand that every human is built of two parts of duality, two parts of polarity, both feminine and masculine. Women are built of masculine and feminine energy. Men are built of masculine and feminine energy. If you, as a man, if you don't balance the feminine part of yourself with your masculine side, you cannot perform the way you're supposed to. That's why even women also, if they don't balance that masculine part of themselves with the feminine, something is lagging in their way of relating with life. So we all carry this trait. We need to embody it, merge it together and embody. So if you are saying, oh, some things, it is women that I can't do it because it's women thing. You see, some men can't take care of themselves because they see it like it's a woman thing. Me, I will take care of myself. Oh. Because if I don't, who will? You see when I say, I don't need buy roll on now. Yeah, I be woman. I don't need buy perfume now. I don't be woman now. You say, oh, that clothes, it's so expensive. Nah, when I don't be woman. But that's you telling yourself that you are not worthy enough of being who you are supposed to be. Because if you don't embody that part of yourself that wants to spray perfume, that wants to look good, you can't actually express yourself in authenticity. You are just expressing yourself through the, the straight line that the society has created for you, not the way you are supposed to or you are deemed to express yourself as human. So I want to ask the main question. Are we still going to keep dodging from our emotions? Are we still going to keep pushing it aside? Or we are going to express it? Because I feel like everything that I've been saying is supposed to be triggering something in you. Because I'm not going to lie, if it is not triggering something in you, then that means based on what you had said earlier on, there's some healing to do. Serious one. I'm not your therapist. You need to do your therapy yourself. Sit with yourself. Look within what is meant to be. It is not a day job. In fact, it is a continuous work. Me, myself, the privilege that I had to be able to see the lagging of my feminine with my masculine, that there's a gap in between them. It took me years before I could even understand. And the thing is, this sort of like starts making you act in ways that doesn't align with who you are. It makes you to become a different person entirely. Because there are a lot of men out there that are misogynists. Why? Because they don't understand the fact that there is a woman in their own psyche and they don't know. Very, very sad. Because if you understood that, oh, I'm made of feminine and masculine, you would have seen it. Oh, this is me going against the feminine part of me. I need to work on these areas. But instead, you lash out on the women, and the way the society has tagged it, instantly you tag you as a misogynist. But you know that it is a trauma somewhere that is speaking. It is the lack of awareness somewhere that is acting out of you. And I tell you, let me give you one scoop also. Bro, are you married? What about you, bro? About you. I believe that one cannot have, as a man, one cannot have a an healthy kind of relationship with any woman if you don't align the feminine part of you with the masculine part of you. It's not possible. Why? Because you are going to live by what the society says that women are confusing. You cannot understand women, no matter how much books you read, no matter how much women are complicated beings. But I tell you, if you are able to align yourself with the feminine part of yourself, you are going to have, at least to an extent, the understanding of how women act. Because you don't see them as a separate body anymore. You see them as the other side of polarity. You see them as yourself. So, are we still going to keep living the way we've always been living, which is just that straight line and shine away from the other side of ourselves, or we are going to embody? Then also to the women, are you going to promise to make a better ambience for men to express themselves after today? No, 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 no. You see, you said like, of course now. Why? Because you feel like it is something you are supposed to do, but you are answering consciously. You feel like I'm supposed to do this. This is what I'm supposed to do as a woman. But somewhere inside, I don't want to start diving into psychology here right now. But somewhere inside, what about if there's something that says men are scum? Men don't deserve it. No, no, no. And men are acting that way every day. You go on social media, you see different kind of this one saying this one saying that. You go on the road now, you want to get to the vehicle, it is the man that is going to insult you. So it is not, I don't want a sort of conscious question. I want answer. I want a sort of answer that's going to come from a subconscious state of you. Because you might be saying consciously, I'm supposed to do this, that's what I'm supposed to do. Of course, but inside, your subconscious mind is saying something else. Why? Because you have been living with particular kind of stories all your life about men. So are you going to promise me they are going to create a better ambience?
Can I ask question, right?
Of course.
Okay. So someone just asked the question. Someone very well from YouTube. So Bonaparte, he said, how do you express platonic love to ladies without most of them instantly assuming you are in love with them and posting them? And now, to bring it back to the question you just asked, it kind of brings home to me because when we now create that space for men in your life, they might now read it as, okay, maybe she's interested in me. And I'll give a real example, right? So planning this event, I reached out to some of the, but there's a particular reason why I decided that we're going to do this month's mental health edition. So I think about 2 months or 3 months ago, during one of our conversations, which one was it? Was it toxic parents? I'm not sure. One of our conversations, I think 2 months ago, we had two guys who were joining, who came here physically, and they shared their experiences being molested as young boys. Because I was saying something, I was like, some people get abused and they take it to the grave. They don't, and they say, they confess, they were like, oh, I'm not going to take mine to the grave. And I'm guilty and this is how you affected me. And I just thought about, okay, this would be really nice to have a conversation for men to express themselves. So I reached out to one of those two guys, and next thing he's saying is, I like you. Would you? Yeah. When can we be in a date? That kind of vibe. And I'm like, I'm trying to create a space for you to be vulnerable. I'm trying to create a space for you to express how you feel. But then you're not reading it as, okay, maybe I'm hitting on you. That's why I'm interested. So, in line with Bonaparte's question, it's also a question I have as well.
Okay, so I have a thought on that. I would say that men, maybe in this part of the world or generally, don't really understand what kindness is. They take kindness as flirtation.
Some men.
So, yeah. A lot. It's not just some men, it's majority.
A lot of men,
A lot of
but
men.
still not men.
A lot of men. Yeah. So someone is just being kind to them, having a regular conversation with them, and for some reason they're already assuming that you want to fuck them. You want to get intimate with them. So I think that it's important to begin to create that space for people. Men. I think that apart from women creating a safe space for men should create that safe space for themselves. Men, an older man towards a younger man, create that space for yourselves. You shouldn't just put the whole burden on a woman to do it for you. I think we need to disabuse ourselves of that. So when it's good. We have let's say 100%. We have 75 to the north of 85% of women providing safe spaces for men to be. Yeah, okay, we can say that sometimes women get weak when a man is crying or whatever in their space, but often women provide that space for
Not
men.
all women. You say either you say a lot or you say
Okay, a lot
some
of
women.
women
Good. I like
provide
that.
that space for men to be, right? So I mean, it's just our nurturing nature. I mean, it's not really deep. You have friendships, you have romantic relationships. You just basically just have that space. Okay, I want to hold space for somebody. I want to be there for them, right? So I think that men really need to sit with themselves and understand that not everything has to. When you're in a relationship or you're having a conversation with somebody, it doesn't have to be sexual. It doesn't have to be intimate. You can just have conversations that is stay there, die there, or whatever. It just improves us right there. Right. So I think men need to begin to see to themselves. Not every conversation has to go the other way. I think it becomes better.
Man, see, about what you just said. See, I'm not going to lie. This is common with a lot of men. In fact, I've been in that kind of issue before. I'm not going to lie. So that was why I said something about lack of awareness. Because these people that are saying these things, especially the ones that you point things at. Okay, before I say it on wow, the person that said it on YouTube said it about what you said. Sometimes you might think that it is the person talking, but it is years of different kind of indoctrination. Not even trauma now. Indoctrination. Do you know that when we were in school, when we were essentially junior secondary, senior secondary, those years, we used to see like the guy that is able to get more girls has more accolades, has more value, has more standard. And the funniest part is that it became a societal thing whereby I'm saying facts now that not only men seconded that particular fact, even women did followed up with it that oh, if you have more women, then you are of more value. And you see a lot of boys grew up to have that kind of notion in their head. Like, you cannot use that girl, you have to have that girl. That girl, you cannot date her. Oh, that girl, you cannot have this with her. You know, those kind of situations. And you're like, you want to have value, you want to raise your ego. You're like, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. Then years, it is piling up, piling up, piling up, piling up, piling up, until times where everybody is grown up, everybody's being serious with life. Everybody is trying to like settle down and get their shit fixed up. Then you that still has a lot of all those years instilled in you are still living from the eyes of that teenager in junior secondary, still looking for more women to add to your catalog. Increase your repertoire. I have Shade, I have Big Pay, I have Tola, Chidima. You see, you even want to do Amina because you want to feel good about yourself. But it is dumb. I said it, and it is very childish. As far as I'm saying that it is through the indoctrination of the society, because I tell you, we are not really who we are without the experiences that we've had over the years from our childhood. Nobody is ever who they are without their environment and what the environment has subjected to them. So, apart from saying that, you still have to look into yourself. Because a man that is always seeing every woman as an opportunity to an end is going to have other setbacks in his life, apart from women relationship part, because you don't just see things for what they are. You are seeing them as a means to an end. You don't see people for who they are. You are seeing them as a means to an end. What you want to get from them. So let's leave women side apart. You get to a place of business. You are trying to point a particular contract to you or a particular service that they want you to render. You are not seeing that service as what I want to render. You are saying that what can it give me? What can I get from it? You are not seeing like what you want to give to it. And it keeps showing up in other areas of your life, like that, like that, like that, like that, like that, like that. That's why there's this kind of like cliche I used to get on the internet that men that are pet dads are always the best kind of men to be in relationship with. A lot of women used to say that men that has pets at home are the kind of men to be in a relationship with. Now, let me just explain the psychology behind it. You see, to own a pet is to nurture something that cannot give back to you. We all believe that, oh, it's going to give me emotional support. Forget it. When your dog poops on your bed, you are going to forget the emotional support you got last night. And you have to do what? You have to fucking clean it. When your cat tears your curtain, or what my cat used to do, disarray everywhere, you are going to understand that without you giving, you cannot get. In fact, most times you are not even getting more than you are giving. So we need to understand the fact that why they say it is that men like that are more compassionate. They have more empathy because they are willing to give to something that is not really, really going to give much back to them. Now, if we can be able to take something from this ideology of life, that this person that I'm meeting that is saying something to me, or how can we be in of alignment to bring forth something beneficial for both of us and the collective? How can we be of how can we be of a means of growth to each other? What can I do for this person also? If you are not seeing life from that aspect, you are seeing it from the aspect of the leech, which is this girl. This girl, she think I have to have that. I have to, So that's just on that side. And he said, how can we, as men, point to women to have a platonic relationship with them without them thinking that you are trying to get in a relationship with them, right?
Like according to the question, how do you express platonic love to ladies without most of them being instantly assuming you are in love with them and toasting them?
Just express. The way the other person takes your expression most times is not even your your responsibility. You just express. But if you see that this person is taking it like this, like that, then it is telling a lot about the kind of person that person is, not you. Because I'm not going to lie, what this guy said is a real fact that is very, very common in our society. Especially this generation, it is very, very common. A lot of women have experienced it firsthand. And I tell you, why some women do that, is because they see something that they are also willing to get from you. They also see something that they can use as a means to an end from you. They see something that they can benefit. They see something that probably, I don't want to use this word, but I have to use it. Probably they might have just objectified you, just like some men also objectify women. So most times it's not really about the person. I mean, it's not about the gender, it's about the person. Then it's telling a lot about that person. That person cannot accept pure expression if you actually had pure expression as a man towards the person without tagging it as something to get to something. And that also relates to childhood and all of these things that I said earlier. But that's just my question and my answer to that question. So, any other question? Okay, I want to react to this question. Mm. Um, like you just said, this is a struggle for men because I mean, there's something about men, a man and a woman. You understand? So if you're not careful, you don't even know when you cause it.
Mm.
You don't even know when you cause it. So I think um, it is something you should be conscious about as a man.
Mm-hmm.
You should know that, of course, not every relationship should end in death or should be intimate or something. No, you should
Mm.
just know that so that when things like that comes up, just know how to navigate the relationship. So
Mm-hmm.
it should be in your conscious mind that you just have to like for myself now. I mean I've met several girls, that if I wasn't careful with the way I move like my relationship, it would have just crossed.
Mm.
And the line is just very thin.
Very thin,
Yeah.
of course.
It would have just crossed, but you really need to be very careful with that.
Mm. Mm.
So that you don't.
Yes. And you don't hear, and you don't give mixed signals also.
Yeah. So you also need to. This thing requires skills too. You also need to know how to balance, things. You need to be careful about what you say, how you respond to things. Because there's some things you say that the other person is not a human being too.
Mm.
That can also trigger them. So you need to be careful.
Of course. Of course.
It's a skill that you learn.
Of course. Of course. Of course. Of course. Of course. Of course. Very, very great point. It's true. It's true. As you can see today, I came here with my friend. And we are very, very good friends. Very, very good friends. And we share a certain level of intimacy. Very, very, a very deep kind of intimacy. But that doesn't mean that we are going to get into anything beyond that. You understand? So, like you said, clear communication is very, very important. I second that. And it is not something that we just bring forth or we just act out. Nobody is actually born with it naturally that much. Some people are, but not everybody. You have to learn it. It is a muscle that you have to actually train over time. Learn how to communicate with people with emotional intelligence and not give them mixed kind of signals. That one self, I don't experience that before. I know you're led to, and it doesn't really lead to somewhere good, I tell you. 90% of the time. Nah. So I'm just going to add to it that you see, I think one of the most productive relationships is the relationship of the two polarities coming together. Friendship, platonic, if two women, or a man and a woman are coming together to have that relationship, it is very, very productive and very, very powerful. Just platonic. But you are doing it because you guys just admire each other to be friends. It yields, I'm talking about like in studies or to studies, 90% of the time, it yields a lot of benefits than just destroying everything with taking yourselves to bed. So that's a very good point, brother. And I like how you articulated it. So any other question? Okay. So with this, um, I think this is going to be the end of my whole opinion, my humble opinion to this matter. So I just want to round it all up. I want to tie it up with some particular notion. So first of all, everyone that has spoken today, it's so beautiful to hear from you guys because it shows that at least our generation is not going to the path of destruction like they have always deemed us to be. You see, most of those older people they think that these people they are lost. But I'm happy to hear from you guys. It shows that even for us to be here, it shows that we are really to be better. And even the will to be better alone already crosses like 70% of the effort to be better. So I commend everyone here today. And even to the few of us, or to those of us that hasn't really tapped into that part of ourselves yet, especially the men, to reach that place of healing. I believe that today, what we've had today is sort of like trigger. If we are that um, attuned to ourselves like we claim to be, because for you to be here, that means a part of you is willing to be better, like I said earlier. So you would have had like something inside of you to tell you that when you get home, you have something to reflect back on. And I believe that this reflection is going to lead to a path of growth for us. So I would like us to have like a little okay before that. Also to the women, I appreciate every one of you for being here. And our own boast. I believe that from today on, we can all strive to create a better society for every one of us, both the men and the women together. So I just want us to do a little kind of exercise. I'm trying to mimic my friend here, the yoga instructor. I want us to just close our eyes for a few minutes, like a minute, just 60 seconds. Close our eyes, then do some conscious breathing from within, you know. Just allow ourselves to exhale, to breathe deeply from our diaphragm. Just let it out. All the tension and everything, just allow it to just flow. Let it go, let it go. So we can make space for some healing inside of ourselves. Embrace a new ambience of being and a new mindset to live through. Just allow ourselves to be in our deepest of essence. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thank you very much, everyone, for having me.
All right. Thank you so much, Oti. That was a nice session. Hope we learned something. I know today is quite different. It's not business as usual. But thank you so much, Oti. Thank you for sharing these words of wisdom. I hope we've taken in the words. Yeah, there are a lot of things you say that actually hit home, and I hope it actually hits home for others as well. Think, yeah, I think I have a question. I didn't remember that question, but it just occurred to me. The truth is, this particular session is one of the most, I would say, one session that I've hosted that caused serious problems. What I mean by that is I posted about, okay, I've been advertising, we need to come and talk about men's mental health, and the kind of society we live in, very toxic one. So I'm being labeled a pick me for for wanting to talk about men's mental health. And it worries me. Seriously, it does. Like you said, every human being, we have both the male and the female, the masculine and the feminine in us. Sometimes as a woman, your masculine energy is more than the feminine. Maybe because of some things you've been through, or you know just all of those kind of things. But I'm really glad we've had this session today, and I hope we this conversation doesn't just end here. I hope we carry this conversation on to future spaces. We make a commitment as men to create spaces for men, and a commitment as women to also create spaces for men. So thank you very much, everybody. I think we've come to the end of this session. So we're going to just take pictures because it's very important. And if we want to continue the conversation, because our guest has somewhere to be right now, so just going to take pictures and maybe we can continue the conversation.